An ever-growing urban population is fueling the demand for expanding infrastructure in cities around the world. The International Tunneling and Underground Space Association, with more than 70 member nations, promotes the underground as a critical component of resilient and sustainable cities. The underground space is moving cities towards zero emissions, cleaner streets, faster commutes, and safer environments. The sky beneath our feet is evolving with breathtaking design and technology. European cities have a long and continuing history of tapping the underground to support expansion and economic growth, with vast new underground projects progressing in recent years. High-speed trains running through the base of the mighty Alps will be an everyday occurrence with the completion of the Brenner base tunnel, the main element of the new Brenner railway from Munich to Verona. At 64 kilometers, it will be the longest underground railway connection in the world, a pioneering work of engineering that will accelerate passenger travel and freight transport through the heart of Europe. On the other side of the Alps, work is near completion on Switzerland's Gotthard base tunnel, the world's longest and deepest railway tunnel and the first flat, low-level route through the Alps. The end of tunnel excavation completed more than 151 kilometers of tunnels, shafts, and underground passages, and the test phase is now in full progress. In the UK, London's Crossrail project also celebrated completion of its tunnel boring machine drives after 3 years of almost continuous excavation to complete 41 kilometers of tunneling with world-class sprayed concrete lined station caverns and accesses to the surface. To benefit the environment, excavated material was used to develop a potentially outstanding wildlife reserve at Wallasey Island. Crossrail is also embracing seamless connection between living space and urban mobility for future generations. Hard rock favors underground excavation to a vast network of more than 400 underground spaces under Helsinki, including utility, water, and metro tunnels, shopping, play areas, storage, pools, and sports halls. An underground lake stores 9 million gallons of icy water to provide air conditioning to city center, offices, and buildings. To capitalize on future construction, new metro lines are also planned, as well as extension of the pedestrian streets to lessen the impact of traffic. In Russia, the famous underground space of the Moscow metro with its beautiful aesthetics is expanding and has recently added a major metro extension in the north. A current southern metro is also near completion. Turkey's tunneling past harks back to the Byzantine era, evidenced by the recent discovery of a subterranean underground city with interlinking paths and swathes of different sections. Turkey is building a direct route under the Bosphorus Strait with the Eurasia Road Tunnel, connecting Europe to Asia. The 5.4-kilometer double-deck highway tunnel under the strait will make the journey almost 7 times faster, cutting bridge travel times from 100 to just 15 minutes. On the Arabian Peninsula, construction of one of the world's most advanced rail transit systems is underway. Consisting of 4 new lines and 100 stations, the Doha Metro in Qatar will keep the underground industry employed well into the next decade. Its light-filled, state-of-the-art underground stations include wide concourses with designer stores and other visitor facilities at ticket level. In Saudi Arabia, the Riyadh Metro had breakthroughs on 2 underground metro lines this year, as it progresses construction of a futuristic design, which will be the backbone of the city. As a nation depending on underground connections, China is advancing major works to modernize its cities, provide vital public services, and provide national connectivity. In the north of the country, the Jilin Yinsong water tunnel is being excavated through complex geology to supply water to the neighboring regions. While in Shanghai, the new Intercontinental Hotel is being constructed deep into the ground. Once completed, the Cave Hotel will have 2 underground floors with an underground restaurant looking out into a spectacular aquarium. Bringing clean, renewable energy from a remote area is the challenge of the tunneling industry in India. The 14.5-kilometer TBM drive through the folded and tortured geology of the Himalayas, 750 to 1,000 meters underground, ended with a successful breakthrough on the Kishanganga Hydroelectric plant. The industry is also engaged in equally challenging projects in the Americas. In New York, people, not power, are driving the need for major tunneling works under some of the most expensive real estate in the world. Manhattan's Upper East Side will soon have access to a subway. New York's 2nd Avenue extension. Started 8 years ago, it aims to carry nearly 2 million commuters every weekday. On the other side of the country, a protracted drought has the industry racing to deliver a solution. At a cost of $817 million, a pipeline is being excavated into the base of Lake Mead to protect the water supply to Las Vegas and onwards to other major southwest cities of the United States. In Washington, D.C., and built beneath and within the heart of city communities, the D.C. Water's Clean Rivers program will control sewer outflows and alleviate flood risks. In Canada, an $8.4 billion investment will keep commuters moving in Toronto with the new Eglinton Crosstown Light Rail line. The line will run underground for more than 10 kilometers and is planned to be in service in 2021. Moving south, Mexico City is tackling drainage issues with a huge sewer tunneling program, which will prevent flooding in the Valley of Mexico. At 62 kilometers long, the main trunk sewer will be one of the largest wastewater tunnels in the world. In South America, all eyes are on Brazil as Rio de Janeiro gears up to host the 2016 Olympics. The industry is hard at work on the underground infrastructure critical for keeping visitors moving. Metro Line 4 will speed throughout the city. Across the continent of Africa, the underground industry over the next 2 or 3 decades holds great potential, with the demand for modern infrastructure key to the growth of urban environments. In South Africa, the Lesotho Water Highlands project is Africa's largest water transfer scheme. Phase 2 is in the planning. Meanwhile, in Cairo, metro extensions are underway as North Africa continues economic growth in the region. While in other parts of Africa, metro extensions are underway and new metros opening for the first time as Africa begins to seek the benefit of the underground. The industry is also active on major projects in Australasia. In Queensland, Australia, 160 meters below the ground, saw a TBM breakthrough earlier in the year. The TBM provided a safer and more efficient work environment and advance of civil technologies into the mining industry. And in New Zealand, construction of the Waterview connection is progressing. The motorway in Auckland includes 2.5 kilometers of twin-bored tunnels. Singapore is one of the most densely populated countries on the planet and has been a key developer of expanding underground. Singapore will also open its 5th rapid transit line shortly. The 44-kilometer-long downtown MRT line will serve more than 500,000 commuters each day. Meanwhile, 150 meters down, deep beneath the seafloor, lies the recently commissioned Jurong rock caverns, a massive storage hub for liquid hydrocarbons, as tall as a 9-story building and with several miles of tunnels. The tunneling and underground space industry is also engaged in a host of exciting future projects. It is sharing expertise, valuable insight, and experience with urban planners to execute state-of-the-art design and construction of underground space. The breadth of future global projects is substantial and exciting. In Europe, a tunnel beneath the Baltic Sea will connect Denmark to Germany. This fixed link will be the longest immersed tunnel in the world at more than 17 kilometers long, allowing international travel from southern Europe into the heart of Scandinavia. Plans were agreed earlier in the year between Chile and Argentina for a mighty program of 3 world-class projects to provide road and rail connections through the Andes. China is also considering a tunnel under Mount Everest to connect with Nepal and India. While back in Europe, France will continue to build out the Grand Paris Express, with completion of 4 new automatic metro lines around Paris. The €22 billion project, to be constructed in phases up to 2030, is the greatest investment by France in its capital city's underground. The Toledo Metro is set in the bustling Italian city of Naples, recently judged to be the most beautiful underground station in the world. A visually stunning creative space filters natural light into the underground via skylights and forms part of an evolving project called Art Stations. In New York, natural light will be fed below ground, leading the way for green spaces, farming, as well as many other social uses. In Jerusalem, an innovative use of the underground is planned to solve the limited burial sites available by creating a subterranean world of remembrance. While under Sydney Opera House, the Vehicle Access and Pedestrian Safety Project plans to separate vehicle and pedestrians by diverting freight traffic via a mine tunnel into a new sub-level loading dock. The list of future projects is allowing cities to develop like never before, leading us to a new world below. Space to expand, protection from the weather, insulation from surface noise and traffic, and superior stability in earthquakes are some of the many benefits of the underground, and the reasons cities below cities are expanding. As the international tunneling and underground space industry delivers spacious, light-filled spaces, the public is seeing the underground in a new light, and the competition for real estate below our streets increases, elevating the underground to a whole new dimension.